And we are live here to chat about tonight's episode. Ooh, you just saw my Fox pajama pants. We are here to chat about tonight's episode of It, which was episode 20, season 7, entitled Confessions, aka the episode where Roy returns. And we've got some bait and switch plot lines in this. We have Felicity eating in this episode, something I was pretty excited about. When characters eat on TV, particularly Felicity. And we have, let me mute myself so I'm not simultaneously hearing myself in my ear. And we have the reveal of sort of what happened with Roy, Thea, and Nyssa, which is kind of cool. Obviously, this is going to probably tie into how Nyssa is able to return in the future to help Felicity raise Mia, or train Mia, or whatever. It's kind of cool. So, anyways, here to chat about it. Really curious to hear what you guys would rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being you did not like it at all, and 5 being you loved it. Hear what you think. And sure enough, we already have some people in the chat rating tonight's episode, so let's jump in and see what you all are thinking. Lisa says, I give that episode a what the hell did I watch? Stormy says this episode is a 2.5 and that's generous. Lindsay Jean says a 3 out of 5. It sounds like you guys didn't love it. Kate Johnson also agrees with a 3 out of 5. I really didn't love tonight's episode either. I thought there was a bait and switch just for the hell of it. I thought that the reveal of what, oddly enough, like the part that should be the highlight, I guess kind of was the highlight, right? The reveal of what happened to Thea, Roy, and Nyssa. Kind of lackluster. Plot didn't really progress. So much time is being wasted on Emiko and Renee. Dear God, like no, we've got just a couple episodes left. Why are we wasting time on that? So, was not a big fan. Carrie also jumping in the chat. He says not a big fan of this episode. 2.5 or 3. The one thing I did like is at least we got full-on villainous Emiko. Yeah, they gave to Emiko what we I think have been rooting for them to give to Black Siren, which is finally that curveball, she's villainy now. I strongly still say Emiko would have been a great villain in like season 4, maybe, but now it's just it's a little too late, a little too little, in the words of the great philosopher Jojo or whoever that was. Stormy says this felt like such a waste of an episode. What a miss, and we have so little time with Felicity. Yeah, it's also, it's not even just this is late, like a late season in the lifespan of the show, right? This is season 7, and it's a little too late to be doing this Emiko plotline again. It's also just, it's late in this season, within the season, to be having this kind of plot line and this kind of lackluster, I guess. Lone Wolf says, where can I watch it now since it's not published in Australia yet? Well, Lone Wolf, I'm not quite sure where you can, but I know I watch it using YouTube TV. Not sponsored. Lindsay Jean says, repetitive. I was honestly horrified when I saw the Roy reveal. Yeah, what did you think of the whole Mirakuru, Lazarus, you know, like the whole tease throughout the episode of what it was going to be versus when you saw what it was? I'm curious. Lisa says, Roy used the magic hit tub. Seems like a reach after what Theo went through. Yeah, I mean, we kind of suspected this, right, throughout, that he seemed to be just a bit off. He seemed to be a bit, like in the future, a bit off, a bit confused, a bit, you know, worried, ragey, whatever it was that we used to say back in like season 2 or 3 when he had the Mirakuru situation. Sorry, dry throat. This is water, by the way. I just think that they kind of had to go here to give some believability as to why he would return and what makes him more interesting now. It's just, again, too late in the season. Kate Johnson says, I thought it was predictable. I didn't hate it, but I was only on the edge of my seat to see if Roy was going to mention her pregnancy or if he's blind like Dinah and Renee. I mean, we know in the future they didn't realize that she had Mia. So we know that, or maybe Roy knew. Did Roy know in the future that she had Mia. I know Dinah doesn't know. Renee doesn't know. You know, so we know that they're not going to find out. So we know they're going to stay dumb about it. And the reason he was trying to hide it from them, all she's got to do is just sort of wear a hoodie and not drink for a while. You know, like it's not that deep. I think she's always the one willing to take the fall for other people, take the fall for himself. But yeah, thing happened to Thea. Lisa says with all the food she was eating, you would have thought Dinah would have realized it. Yeah, like the way Siren did. Lindsay Jean also says, we've already had Roy feeling guilty about killing someone or under the influence of Mirakuru, so I'm not interested in this plot again. Stormy says, Dinah's holier than thou attitude. It's so in character with what we've seen since season. Yeah, I mean, they were able to easily fool us with Dinah because that's how Dinah sometimes acts. So it's almost like they're making fun of their own writing there, which is fine. I don't really mind one way or the other with Dinah. She's just not a character who I'm interested in at this point because they introduced her late in the game, changed her writing many, many times, gave her throughout her writing many points at which she's made sort of decisions that just aren't my brand of morality, which is fine. You know, it's a superhero show. They don't have to believe the same thing as me, but it's just with her, it's only been that because we haven't really got enough like depth of character or consistency, I guess. You need consistency to get depth of character. So yeah, the holier than thou thing, you know, easy to buy into in this episode. So we've only got a couple episodes left, right, of this season / this show in general. I'm curious to hear what you guys would like to see in the last couple episodes. Last got 2 more going forward, 3 more going forward. Let me check right out. While I'm finding that out, let me know. Yeah, we've just got 2 more left, right? Living Proof next week, and You Have Saved the City the week after that. That's the finale, right? This just dropped. It's okay. I didn't need to be in focus anyways. In fact, I look better out of focus and washed out. If we can make that happen, that would be ideal. Carrie says, I do like that our heroes have a propensity to lie to each other. That will be their undoing because Emiko hijacked the footage and will use it against them. Yes, and I feel like that would be something smart for Siren to have had in her storyline. King Jr. says, did Oliver die? Oliver, in fact, did not die. It sounded like in the promo for next week, Felicity's trying to negotiate him being released from the, you know, she says, so-and-so has my husband trapped. What did she say in the promo? Anyways, he's not dead. He's being attacked. Lindsay says, I much prefer the first half of the season. I think I did too, but the villain in the first half, the villain in this entire season has been not great. But in the first half of the season, I think we were rooting for it to get better, and now we're just sort of resigned to it. But the first half of the season, it was like Dragon and the Longbow Hunters. Like, we really tried, but no, it was not great. And then, but the rest of it, like Lindsay, absolutely, yes, the rest of the first half of the season was much better than this. Here, we've got some like shaky attempts at a villain and then shaky attempts at team stuff. Neither one's going that great. So it's like, Stormy says, the building collapsing on Oliver gave me Tommy flashbacks. Interesting. Could Tommy return? Question mark. I believe the character who plays Tommy was in Vancouver for something recently, was he not? Carrie says, need to see Bronze Tiger and his relationship with Diggle setting up for Connor's adoption. Yes, I agree. I especially would like for in the future to see Connor and JJ reunite and talk about the circumstances of their upbringing. I want to know everything about Diggle's family. I think that they're going to be a really interesting dynamic. Stormy says the building collapsing out. Yeah, and she also says we haven't had a good villain since season 5. I think we've had potential. I think Kate and James had really high potential. What else has had, you know, the writing for Siren could have been good. I think we were really hit or miss on her ability to do like action scenes, but that applies to a lot of characters on the show, but the writing for her could have been really interesting. Lindsay says we only had a good villain seasons 1, 2, and 5. Yeah. Prometheus was great. Still a slow start. Like hindsight, rose-colored glasses, all that. Because I know we look back on Prometheus fondly now, and I think part of it has to do with the fact that the actor Josh Segarra, who played Prometheus, fantastic, understood the show perfectly, understood fan interactions perfectly. Like that, he was incredible. But Kate and James, hit or miss sometimes on the acting, as is the case with all these villains, but he in particular, his storyline had the potential to be a very Arrow-esque villain. So I'm a bit sad about him not going anywhere. So I'm hearing then, what I'm hearing is you guys would like to see a strong villain wrapping up the season and going into season 10, which I think would be nice, especially in the absence of quite a lot of our heroes, right? With Felicity and Diggle both not going into the final season. They may pop up in it probably in the finale, but not as regular. They could really kind of put all their eggs in the villain basket. Lindsay says Kate and James' backstory made no sense. Kate and James' backstory was intended to make us feel sorry for him just in time for Dragon to kill him. I would not have included any of that tie-in. I would have had him be a mastermind, techie, software, villainy, power-hungry type of thing. Basically what they're trying to make Alina be now, which I'm not against that either. Carrie says it's a minor quibble, but Ollie needs to go put on his hood. Everyone else wears their full uniform. It's the right look. Yeah. I mean, with Oliver, they're trying to go this route of him trying to be out in the open, and that's why they don't have a hood on him. Lindsay says Diggle will be in season 8. I thought Diggle was, or David Ramsey was exiting or partially exiting before season 8. Will he be in it full time? Are we sure? Oh, thought I heard that he was leaving. Good question. Good thing to look up. Well, that covers, I know this is really short. I know we still have a few more minutes. That covers about everything for me. And it's been a really long day. And this episode was not that great. So I'm not going to hold you over another 5 minutes just to fill some time. I appreciate you guys listening and talking with me and forcing me to do one normal thing in my day, which is this. So come chat with me on Twitter if you have anything else to say about this episode, any questions, any theories going into the final 2 episodes. You can also find more of my Arrow thoughts at arrowsquad.com, where I'm a co-host for a podcast through Golden Spiral Media Network. And we chat about Arrow every week, me and another person. Pretty cool. Anyways, I will talk to you guys same time, same place next week. Bye.